In this episode, we are breaking the chains of self-doubt and giving you tangible, tested tools to help you develop a limitless mindset. So in my experience of coaching hundreds of entrepreneurs, I have found that what really determines how far someone will go towards realizing their dreams has everything to do with whether or not they believe that they can do it. So we have to work at the level of belief. And so I'm going to split this into two separate episodes because there is a lot here to unpack when it comes to limiting beliefs. And my invitation for you as you go through this episode is to integrate what you're learning. So I always love to say that, learning something isn't the same as implementing something, right? So knowledge won't change you, but implementing the knowledge that you're learning is what creates the greatest amount of change. So my invitation is to take these simple tested strategies and try them on this week and notice what opens up for you so that you can dive into next week's episode and truly become limitless in how you're living and how you're thinking. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I'm Lisa, and I'm one of the co-founders here at Rise Leadership Circle. Our mission is to expand you into new levels of owning your value, your power, and your worth so you can become well-paid and live a prosperous life. So let's go ahead and dive right in. I want to start you off with a question today, and I would love to hear your answer to this. If you want to hit me up on social media, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Are your limiting beliefs harder to see the more successful you become? Tell me what you think about that. Are your limiting beliefs harder to see the more successful you become? I think that sometimes they are, because by the time we've created some success, we have done a lot of this work. We've overcome a lot of limiting beliefs to get as far as we have. And so sometimes we can feel like we've done it already. Like we've done the work. I don't need to think about that anymore. But the truth is, every new level that you reach is going to require you to come back to the basics, because there's always going to be a new level of limiting beliefs to go along with the new level that you're reaching for. And that's not a negative thing. That's just the process of growth. And so we want to always be in a space where we're expanding, we're growing, and we're evolving. So no matter how much success you have already created in your life, there's always going to be a new level. So invitation is to take this on, implement the strategies I'm going to give you at the end, and notice what shifts for you. So what I have discovered with having the privilege and the honor to coach so many amazing women, through the experience of Rise Leadership Circle, is that there are some who tend to hit their goals faster and go farther. And if I really drill down, what's the difference between someone who, it takes longer to get there, and it doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong in how fast you get there, right? But the difference is how much they really believe that it can happen, how much they believe in themselves. And it's not about knowing how. It doesn't determine whether or not someone knows how to reach their goals, because the truth is, if they're big enough goals, you're not going to know how. You've never done it before, so how can you possibly know? It really, truly has everything to do with your level of belief. Okay, so let's just look at what are some common examples of limiting beliefs that might be a bit subconscious. Maybe they're lurking under the surface and you're not even, really aware that it's there. So here's the way I see this show up, particularly with someone who's created a lot of success already. Let's just say you've already hit 6 figures in your business. You're around the 100K mark. Maybe you've been there for a year, maybe a little bit longer, and you're finding that you're not growing. And so this can be a way that, these sneaky little beliefs come up. It can be things like, you need to hire, but you're really resisting the hiring process. When that's happening, there's usually a limiting belief underneath. Something around, maybe there's a limiting belief around giving up control, a belief around, someone else not going to be able to do it as good as you can or care for your customers as good as you can. There can be all kinds of different things lurking really underneath the surface. Another thing that I see a lot that comes up is this belief around making more money requires more of my time. And I want to share with you guys a personal story for me that, this has been something that's recently been brought to the surface that I've had to do some work on in the past several months. So as you probably know, Kayla and I are in a season of scale, and we really have a desire to reach more people with Rise Leadership Circle. We want to create a space where more soulful entrepreneurs can come in and experience the amazing community that we have. And so we've decided that we want to scale our company so that we can support more people. And one of the things that our coach has repeatedly said to us is, if you want to scale, you have to do less. If you want to scale, you have to do less. And it took me a little bit to really wrap my mind around it. And here's the thing, I already believe that, growing faster isn't about working harder, working all hours of the night. You guys know that if you've been in my space for a while. That's not what I believe, and that's not the way that I live my life. However, I hadn't really played with the belief of, if you want to scale, you have to do less. And so I had to look at what were those limiting beliefs in the way. I had to look at what in my personal life I could begin to delegate to free up space and time. One of the things that is required of us to scale is we have to be willing to have more time to think, to have more time to be. We can't be stressed out and running all the time and still feel like we can be creative and supportive of the people that, we're here to support. So that's been something in my life that I've recently been shifting, and it's been really, really profound. So, it's just bringing up an extra layer of an old paradigm belief. If you guys know my story, you'll know that in my first business, I completely burnt out. By the time it was profitable and I sold the business, I was so exhausted that I was barely getting through the day. I just completely overworked and burnt my team out in the process. And so, I don't believe that anymore, but there were still pieces of that sort of old paradigm way of thinking that were lurking under the surface. There was another layer that was ready to heal. So let's just kind of look at, how we can really uncover what those limiting beliefs are within ourselves. So something that we have to understand is that we will take action based on what we believe. Okay, so we'll take action towards our big goals and dreams based on what we believe we can do. If we don't believe that we can have something, we're not going to go out and take big, bold action. It's just we're going to stop ourselves every single time. And the other thing that I see happen too is if we haven't done the work to really look at, our beliefs and to upgrade the way that we're thinking, is we will self-sabotage. So I've seen this happen where, sometimes someone raises their income, maybe even considerably, like your income level goes up more than you think. This happened to me, this happened in my own life. Your income rises more than you think that it should be. And if you haven't done the work to really hold a belief around your worthiness, your ability to manage that money, you feeling like you're an energetic match for that money, you'll self-sabotage every single time. And so this is why it could seem, maybe you've had this experience where it's like, wow, no matter how much I make, I seem to have the same amount in my checking account each month. Like, why is that happening, right? That's a way that we can self-sabotage if we haven't done the work to uncover the limiting beliefs that are underneath the surface. So I want to unpack this for you a little bit. So our results, the results that we have in our life, are always going to match our dominant thoughts. Okay, so if you want to uncover, okay, what's a limiting belief? Here's the place we start. Just look at the results. I want you to think about the goal that you currently have, or, a big dream that you're working on. What's the current result that you have in your life right now? And it's not to look at the result with any kind of judgment. In fact, please don't judge it, because that sort of takes us out of the realm of possibility. But just objectively look at, what is the current result? This is a powerful tool you can use. You can write this down. What's the current result? And then you want to ask yourself, okay, what am I believing that's generating this result? So for example, we'll just go with easy numbers. Let's just say you want to generate 10 new clients in your business every single month. And consistently, month over month, you're bringing in 1 or 2 clients, okay? So you just want to look at, okay, what's the result? The result I'm generating is 1 or 2 clients. The desire I have is 10. So what am I believing that has me consistently staying at a rate of just generating 1 or 2 clients when I really want 10? That will help you uncover, where is the limit. So ask yourself, what am I believing? And then, we have to remember, if we want a different result, we simply have to start at the level of belief. So if you want to generate 10 clients in your business, then ask yourself, what would I have to believe in order to generate 10 clients? What would I have to believe about me? What would I have to believe about my ability to support these clients? What would I have to believe about the universe, what's possible, whatever it is for you? What would you need to believe? And just identify, what is that belief? Even if you don't believe it yet. right? So maybe there's an upgrade into your confidence level, to your ability to learn a new funnel or something that you have to do in order to make that happen. Just write it down. What would you need to believe in order to have that result that you desire? And that's where the work begins. Once we identify what that is, we can start to do the rewiring of the thought work. So here's the thing, it's not as easy as saying just slap a positive affirmation on top of that belief and you're good to go. We all know that's not enough, right? Because if we don't believe the thing we're telling ourselves, well, it's our beliefs, it's those dominant beliefs that are going to make the biggest difference. So we have to do a bit of a rewiring process in the brain to do that. So let's talk about what that could look like. So everything starts as a thought. I want you to think about whatever electronic device you are currently listening to me or watching me on, whether it's your laptop, your smartphone, whatever it is. Whatever that device is, that started initially as a thought. It began as a thought in someone's brain. It had to begin there first in order for it to actually exist in physical form. And it's the same is true with all of your desires. So a thought is simply energy. Okay, that's all it ever is. A thought is a form of energy. And we know that we have the ability to shift energy. We can manipulate energy. No, I don't know if manipulate's the right word because it has a negative connotation to it, but we can move energy. It's highly possible. And when we shift the energy, we can shift the results in our lives. So we can't ignore the power of doing the energetic work behind our thoughts, okay? So what happens is we have a thought, and that thought is an energy form. That energy creates a chemical reaction in our body, in our brain, sends it to our body, and this becomes an emotion or it becomes a feeling. If you like the science, this is like very simple science, but if you love to geek out on some of the science work, go check out Dr. Joe Dispenza. I absolutely love his work. He has done so much scientific testing to prove the way that this works and to really share how meditation can absolutely create a different future. It's really powerful stuff. So if you've not listened to Dr. Joe, go and check it out. So here's the thing, we have a thought, right? The thought creates a chemical reaction, which then becomes a feeling or an emotion in our body. And we have emotions. You guys know we've been doing this work for a little bit. The emotions that we're experiencing generally determine what sort of actions we're taking towards reaching our goal. So I want you to think about this for a second. If you are in sort of a low vibe space where you're maybe really filled up with self-doubt, and you're in a space of just feeling doubtful, you're feeling a lot of fear, notice what actions you take or don't take towards your business, right? Notice what you do. We've talked about this a bit here in some past episodes. And then I want you to notice, what do you do when you get into a high vibrational space? When you're singing to your favorite song and you're happy and it just feels like you're just in this really great space. You're experiencing a lot of joy. Notice from that place what actions you take in your business towards your goals. It's very different, right? When we're coming from higher up on the emotional scale, the actions we take are going to be so much more impactful. And this is actually when the actions are inspired, right? They feel easy. It can still be, maybe we're putting a lot of hours in, but it doesn't feel like it. It feels easy. It feels fun. There's like a lightness or a levity to it. The actions that we're taking are what's ultimately going to create the result. So we need to think about. So in this way, your results are always going to match your dominant thoughts. So we have to start at the level of thought. So I want to give you a tool to really help you with this rewiring process. So if you caught my last episode, which was on creating a really amazing morning ritual to support you, this is going to be a beautiful next step to that video. So if you need to, go back and rewatch that. That will support you with the step. But here's what I want you to do to rewire those thoughts. Once you've identified, right, what's there, I want you to every single morning write down your goals. Maybe pick 7, pick 10, pick 5, whatever feels good for you. I want you to write down like those big audacious goals and dreams. And I want you to write them as if they're present tense. They're already happening in the now moment, okay? Bring in your feeling words like, I'm so excited. I've just booked a trip to Italy for a month with my family. That's an example of a big audacious goal someone could have, right? So something like that, you're gonna write it in present tense. I want you to write those down every single morning. And then I want you to pick that one big, beautiful goal that like has the most energy, the most excitement around it for you, or maybe what's the one you're working on right now. And I want you to visualize it. I want you to give yourself a few minutes to actually see it happening now. So really bring this practice in. We talked about this again a little bit in my last video, but I want to bring it even more to life for you this week, because this is the rewiring process. So you're going to see how bringing this in begins to rewire you to achieve what you want faster. Okay, so I'm just going to walk you through this right now, you guys. If you are driving, just listen. If you're not driving, go ahead and close your eyes. And I want you to take a deep breath in through the nose and just do a big, deep belly breath for me. Close your eyes. Exhale. Go ahead and take a few more breaths just like that. And I want you to use your imagination right now. And I want you to just daydream with me. I want you to see yourself living into a future moment where that one beautiful, audacious goal has already happened for you. It's there. You're living into it in this moment. And I want you to bring in those feelings of joy. Maybe it's a sense of bliss, of happiness. Maybe there's a sense of peace that you're feeling. And I want you to get a sense of what it feels like to be you in that future moment. Notice the confidence that you have. Notice what you're wearing. Notice where you are. Notice who's around you. Imagine how you're planning your day. And I want you to notice what you believe to be true in this future moment where you have realized this beautiful goal that you've had. What did you believe that helped you get here, and what do you believe now? And just go ahead and breathe that in. Pull it into this now moment. And I want you to actually allow yourself to feel those elevated emotions. Feel it as if it's in real time. And then pull them back with you into now, into this current time-space reality. And so it is, you have just generated this beautiful vision brought to life. Because remember, everything exists energetically before it exists in physical form. So it exists, it's an energetic reality. Now your job is just to continue believing in it, to continue becoming that future version of you. And this is how we begin to rewire our thoughts. So you can do this every day, and it's important to write down what were those beliefs, right? What were the things that he was thinking and believing? And the next step to this is I want you to write down the thoughts and beliefs that are out of alignment with that reality. So you're going to decide in this moment, what is it that you will choose to not let slip by your reality? What are those thoughts that you will not let slip by without consciously bringing your attention to them and choosing something else, choosing to rewire those thoughts, choosing something that feels better? And we do this step by step, because it's not realistic to think like, oh, I'll just never think those thoughts again. No, those thoughts are hardwired, right? So we have to do the process of rewiring, unlearning. So every time you have those thoughts again, as you go throughout the week, you're just going to observe like, oh, there it is again. Let me choose something that feels better. And you can simply do this day after day. And so this is a process that you can do within just a couple of minutes a day to begin to rewire and to begin to bust up those limiting beliefs. And again, knowledge won't change you. So actually doing the work, taking a few minutes a day to do this work is what will bring about the greatest change. And another thing I think is really helpful is fill your mind with thoughts, connect with people who have, created what you want to create to help you bust down those limiting beliefs. One of my favorite books, Kayla and I recommend this book to people a lot. It's called The Awakened Woman. It's by Dr. Tara Wright-Trent. And talk about a woman who overcame some incredible limits. So if you need some inspiration, I want to invite you to go and check that out because it is so powerful. And tell me what you think. Let me know if you check it out. Okay, so that's what I got for today. I'm going to be back next week and we're going to go into part 2, which is actually creating a limitless mindset. So we're busting up limiting beliefs so we can step into having a limitless mindset. Imagine doing life that way. Okay, thanks for being here. As always, please like, share, and subscribe so that you never miss an episode. And let me know in the comments what you guys think and how this work is making a change for you.